Greetings, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of the Firing Line. You know, society has created a dragon that we just can no longer slay, people. And it's called political correctness. And I'm going to give my opinion. Of course, like I said, opinions are like butts. Everybody has one. Back in the day, before this wonderful 6-pound device, I'm talking when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, when we had a competition, we had a winner, and everybody applauded the winner. Maybe not everybody was happy with the winner, but we had a winner. And then somewhere along the line, the dragon reared its ugly head. And then that was all wrong. That was totally wrong. And society changed so that kids didn't go home and cry. So now, when we have a competition, we have a winner, and the winner gets a trophy or a medal or maybe even a cupcake. But now, second place, third place, fourth place, fifth place, last place gets a medal or a trophy or a cupcake. Because heaven forbid someone should lose and go home crying. What are we raising? What kind of society has this become when everybody has to be a winner? It blows sportsmanship right out of the water. It really does. Next, what's going to happen to the Olympics? Everyone will get a gold medal? Because God forbid somebody gets a bronze. Or maybe nobody gets a medal, So, what have we created? It's a dragon we can't slay. And I'll tell you the worst situation is the invention of HR, human resources. Back in the day, when I started to work, they had a personnel department, which was David. And the corporation was Goliath. Now, human resources is Goliath, and the corporation is David, but David can't slay Goliath. I got to pause for a minute. Here's a perfect situation. A friend of mine had a secretary of the new generation. She came in for an interview looking like she was going out to the beach. A t-shirt, those jeans that looked like somebody was dragged through a field, and they hired her. And she started to work for him. And at first she got to work at 9. Then she couldn't get to work at 9. And it was 9:30. And couldn't get to work at 9:30, and then it was 10. And she was a marginal secretary at that, had marginal skills. So my buddy goes down to Goliath, HR, and says, "Hey, Susie ain't working out. We got to let Susie go." HR, wait a minute. Can't do that. Can't do that. We have to give her a warning. So she gets a verbal warning. Gets worse. Comes to work at 11. Now, we give a written warning. Still no improvement. A second written warning. Still no improvement. So he goes down to Goliath and said, "Gotta let her go. She ain't doing a job. Comes in early, comes in late, comes in late, leaves early, takes a 2-hour lunch. I don't even take a 2-hour lunch," he says. No. If we fire her, she may sue us and get awarded millions. So it's cheaper to keep her. So instead of getting rid of her, he retired. What have we created, people? What on God's green earth have we created? A society where an employee rules the corporation with the threat of a lawsuit? Back in our day, when I started work back in the 70s, I know to some of you that's going to sound like I'm older than Methuselah and it's ancient history. We were still writing on a rock tablet with a chisel. But back in the 70s, of course, we had a personnel department, not an HR department. And the corporation was Goliath. If you didn't do your job, you got one warning, and then you were fired. And you couldn't go get an attorney and sue because you were fired for just cause. But not today. There's no such thing as just. A corporation now will keep an employee rather than run the risk of being sued. And these juries nowadays, Let's see. Let's deliberate about this. Nothing to deliberate, people. They fired her. She didn't deserve it. She had problems at home, and she had a bad childhood, and she wasn't good in school. And school, oh, you know, I had always heard the term Montessori school, and never knew what it was until a friend of mine who has a child in a Montessori school informed me as to what a Montessori school is. And basically, it's like Romper Room was to when we were growing up. If everyone is doing math and little Jimmy doesn't want to do math, he wants to play with building blocks. Little Jimmy can go play with his building blocks because you can't force him to be like the rest of the students. What kind of school is this? When I was in school, if you didn't do what you were told, you get punished. I remember our third grade teacher used to make us stand in the coat room. Or, even better yet, going to public school, I had to take CCD, which was Catholic Christian Doctrine classes, after 1 day a week. And it was taught by nuns. And if you didn't do what you were supposed to do, you got it across the knuckles with a yardstick. And you don't dare cry.
What?
Yes. Nowadays, oh my God, if a teacher puts a finger on a student, it's harassment. They're dragged before the school board and fired. We need to change society, people, because it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. We are now letting Goliath control David. Scary, isn't it?
That's it. I'm through.
I'll talk to you next week, people. Have a great week.